hope you've enjoyed the first half of our conversation with these three young aviators. They all bring a lot of energy to the conversation and talking about what was that initial spark, how it got them going, and kind of where they're thinking about going in the future. They have a lot more to share with us about their different topics and how they do stay motivated and how they plan to share it with others. Really, some really wonderful people, great flyers, and I know you're going to enjoy the second half of our conversation. Really quick order. If you were to pick a thought about, is there anything about this business that discourages you?
The finance aspect.
Okay.
It's not cheap.
Well, this is what is the, we haven't practiced this question or anything, but to think about, there's a lot of great things, but what in the business kind of discourages you and you think might discourage other people? Maybe it is finance.
Yeah, getting started, getting through your ratings, I think a lot of people come in with this mindset of, all right, I have this money, I'm going to do it, and they get halfway through and they burn through that money already. And so that's one of the biggest things I see as an instructor is people starting and stopping and starting and stopping because of financial reasons. There's a ton of other reasons that could deter them, but it's normally finances that I see. And so it's, do you take out a loan? Do you move in with the roommate, sell your house and get a third job? Because I've seen that too. Mm-hmm. I'm a big advocate for scholarships, but there's always one of the first questions I get from my students as an instructor is, how do I finance this? Or how did you quit your job, not take a second one, and get all your ratings in a year? And it's definitely not easy financially, but I can see that being one of the biggest obstacles to get over.
How about you guys? Any other thoughts about the business that you think just wears on you and kind of discourages you in your day in, day out life on this business?
I'd say not so much for GA flying, but kind of just the unknowns going to the regionals. Because when I went in as a first officer, as a new hire, the whole initial training took about 3 months to complete fully. So, being gone from home for 3 months kind of takes a toll on you, not seeing friends or family, and you're just there studying even after you go to class for 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then you're studying after that, going to sleep, waking up, doing it again. And then after you get through that, just the regional schedule too is a lot. We're flying 3-4 day trips most of the time with 1, sometimes 2 or 3 days off in between. And kind of the biggest struggle was learning how to be away from home.
Okay.
For a lot. And then
so there's sacrifices.
Yeah. And missing important days with family or friends, or if you have kids, missing their birthdays and all that. But just kind of learning the new style of life, kind of that unknown that you don't know going into it. It's kind of tough. You just have to go in and kind of just ride those waves and figure it out for yourself. And sometimes it is for some people and sometimes it isn't. So it's just kind of fun talking about it now.
Because you crossed the gauntlet to a certain.
Yeah.
All of you have. But what you just said to me also is, while you've crossed one gauntlet, there's something else. It's that continuous learning. It's the art form of sacrifice and commitment of what you're doing. You're on 4.0, but the things you've learned, and you never stop learning.
Nope. In
what you're doing in aviation. I will reflect one. This will date me, but you talk about the finances. When I was flying 152s, I was paying, when I first started, it was $13 an hour wet, and I couldn't afford that. But the things have changed a lot since then. But the finances is a big thing for people, and to have a game plan or have a little bit of support without putting yourself, in debt and a lot of other things, which I hate to see people doing. But the art form of getting the training and have a plan. I think that's what you were talking about earlier, is thinking about your plan and making sure everybody's thinking about how you get to this point, because there is a financial burden to doing this. But moving forward beyond that, what I'm inspired is you've all made investments, and you once again are not looking back. you're looking forward to make this better and help others make it better. Is there anything that you would say you hope never changes for you in your aviation career?
I'll jump on that one.
Okay.
For me, I was very intentional about getting into this because, again, being a fourth career guy, I had in my past set my heart.
It's not going to be 5.
I don't intend there to be, but at the same time, I'm also open to that. Yeah, I've gone through getting my heart set on something. This is going to be the path. This is where I'm going, and then finding out after an amount of time that that's not really what I want to do, and being able to pivot. So yeah, I was very intentional about this aviation path and what this is going to look like for me. In that I was not going to burn myself out in it and turn this into a job that was boring to me or that was became monotonous to me. So my path to what I'm looking at, I mentioned the 91-135 world for me anyway, is very interesting, is to ultimately be a business owner in aviation and run an aviation business that would allow me to balance where I focus my efforts. I don't want to be grinding so hard flying that I lose the excitement in it. I still want to be able to enjoy jumping in a plane with my son on the weekend and going out somewhere.
Very cool. Very cool. And that's kind of what I was wondering too is, does it ever, get burned out? But what you're thinking about, what's the thing, what do you hope you never lose that passion about or never changes for you in your aviation journey?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the desire and passion to fly, but honestly, I found such a community aspect within general aviation that I hope to continue on into a professional career. And everyone, I keep hearing of a cultural fit and everything. It's not everyone can fly a plane at this aspect or at this point. We all have the same license or ratings or hours. But do I want to sit and talk with you for 8 hours and fly these planes together and spend these big trips together? So it's making these connections with people that I have found on the general aviation level of I've had such a support and the school I work for and the people I fly with and even my past instructors, and they're actually, I have one at SkyWest as well, and he still checks in on me all the time, like, have you applied for SkyWest yet? Like, what are your hours? So like,
Well, you have another connection here
yeah.
too.
And it's just, there's so many people in my corner, and now I get to do that for my students as well. And it's not just through instructing, it's also through the organizations I've been joining and the volunteer work I've been doing, and hopefully in the next career of whatever jet job I get, or even if I did go 121, the company I work for, of finding these people that are also doing the things that they love. And honestly, I've never met a pilot that doesn't want to sit down and talk about their story or hear about yours. Or now when I get on planes and I let it slip that I also fly, but let me show you the front and let me show you what I fly. And it's just this, it's like watching everyone live their dream is such a cool feeling that I hope to always get to be a part of.
Yeah, I guess my turn now. So for me, just every time I get into an airplane, it's like you want to be there. It's like not losing the love for that, just not losing that passion for it. Because as a flight instructor, I did burn myself out. I got my CFI about 400 hours total time, and then I was doing like over 100 hours a month instructing, and then I got up to 800, and JSX, that 135 carrier, was flying out of here. They were hiring at 800 hours, but kind of knew I wanted to go to the airlines, so I was thinking about hopping over to JSX, and because I was like so done with instructing because I burnt myself out. I kind of lost the joy of what I'm doing here, teaching people how to fly, and then I told myself, nope, just kind of slow down a little bit. Continue on to your 1,500 hours and go to the regionals, and kind of took like a week vacation, stopped flying for a week, and then came back to it, and then kind of found that love again. So just being able to not lose that,
I
I would say
like
is
the way
probably
you
my.
eloquently, I brought the love back again.
Yeah,
I brought the love back. It's back. I'm ready. And that's honesty. And that's really what part of the message is we go through some of those challenges. You go through some trying times. I mean, we talked about how you keep the motivation. You keep the motivation with your students. You're motivated. You're a mentor, trainer, psychologist in the meantime, and all the things. You guys have all committed to those challenges, and I would assume your students all feel very passionate about your commitment and what you've done for them. Do you have family members, respectively, that are in aviation or want to be in aviation? Your son, you take him flying. Is he ready to sign up?
He's still a few years out from. I mean, don't get me wrong. He has a logbook and it's got hours in it.
That's cute.
But he's a few years out from being able to solo.
Okay,
But,
you haven't soloed him yet.
no.
All right, well, you probably have, but we're not going to talk about that at this moment. We're going to, I'll have the rudders. You just handle the yoke for right now, probably. But either of you have family? I know you said your dad or your stepdad flies.
Yeah.
And do you have any other friends or that family members, or you're the solo pilot right now?
I'm
Good
the
for you.
odd one out. It's been really special sharing it with my stepdad, though, because once I started really diving into my flight training, he wanted to get more proficient and just be a safer overall pilot. So he ended up getting his instrument and commercial, not for anything other than just being
For
a better
passion.
pilot, kind of like what you were talking about. And he's now part of the CAP program, so that keeps him in the air and keeps him, flying. But at one point, he was studying for like his commercial, and I was studying, I think, for my private. And I would call him, and I was like, "What does this even mean?" And
Right.
he's like, "Well, kind of like this." So, he really understood what I was going through. And my poor mom. She hates heights and flying in small spaces, and somehow she is now married to a pilot. Raised one.
You got her in the plane?
I did. I took
Good
her
for
out
you.
once out of here. It was so funny. We just took off. We're departing, and it was getting really busy, and people were trying to get back in, and they were getting like turned away, saying, call back in 5 minutes. My mom's like, "Should we get down?" I was like, "No, you're fine. Like, you're
Just
fine."
relax.
But it's been special sharing it with him.
Jason, you have any family members that are?
Yeah, so both my grandpas on my mom's and dad's side, they both flew back in the day, just general aviation stuff. My dad's dad, he owned a Cherokee 140 when they lived up in North Dakota.
Okay.
So he has a bunch of stories about flying with him in North Dakota up there. And then my mom's dad was in the Air Force at the time and never got his private, but just took some lessons in a J3 Piper Cub. And he's actually the one that scheduled my
Gotcha.
discovery flight. But nobody went further than just getting their private pilot's license.
Have you had any family while you were pilot in command at SkyWest on your planes?
I flew my mom when I was a first officer. I think it was last July, I believe. But yeah, it was really cool having her on there. 'Cause,
I bet.
Went to the flight attendant PA in the back, made a special announcement and everything. So it was a very, very cool moment.
That's very cool. Good for you. You see those things on the news at night, and I think that must just be, for a parent, and speaking from a parent perspective, that would be very, very cool to show. And I'm sure they're very proud of all that you've done there and be able to do that. Yeah, that's my son flying the plane today. If we want to go left, we may not go to where we think we're going. I'm going to let him know I want to go to this other place, and he'll do that for me, by the way. And so you're all one common platform here is Rocky Mountain Flight School. And that has clearly been a part of your careers, and it must be a pretty strong family bond in that as well. Matt was telling me there's like, if I get this number right, it's okay to correct me, 30 or 40 flight instructors, something in that range. Mm-hmm. And how do those relationships play in your journey? You lean on each other? Do you? You're all pretty busy, so I don't think you're just hanging out all weekend with each other because you're flying or instructing, doing something like that. But how's it being part of this organization?
It's a great school. I think, I don't know if we all got our training here, but I certainly got every bit of my training here. And I will say, one of the missions is to make flying fun and accessible of the school. And, Shaylin talked about one of the big barriers being the cost getting in.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to be able to get all my ratings, from private through MEI for $45,000 through the school, which is almost unheard of anywhere else. So that certainly is part of what drew me back. It's just the mission is a lot different than you hear at some other schools that are, certainly. I'm not going to say anything disparaging about anybody else.
They're
Right. And
renting planes, and this sounds like it's more than renting planes.
it is, and the instructors here are fantastic. We've got a really great crew, and as you mentioned, maybe we don't always have a lot of time. Maybe we're just passing each other, but you've always got somebody you can lean on when you've got a question. It's a really great community.
And you guys are probably, everything you've said, it's a family operation, and I enjoyed watching, and I'll have to rewatch it now that we've had a chance to meet. The video you did a couple of months ago where you got the whole team together and all of that. I'm not sure if you were all in it or not, but I'll go back and take a look at that. It's, your main cheerleader there, Matt, he's all over it and just enjoys it. And to see the energy that everybody brings to it, it's fun. And this is a neat place to learn. My East Coast Flatlander experience, while we get some challenges on occasion, I don't come out here without learning something new. Tested in one way or another, or finding something. You're a very busy airport, and so you need to be on your game. And Matt doesn't like me to admit this, but I miss a radio call here or there, and there's a lot going on. You need to be on your game, and so you learn through a little bit of baptism by fire in a roundabout way, but I think that's pretty cool because you really become a kind of a better pilot for it at the end. Anything we've missed in inspiring others, some thoughts around learning this art form, taking it to the street, taking it to the public, in your case. And by the way, I'm going to Denver this afternoon, so I'm going to drop your name a couple of times. I don't know what that's going to do for me, but I'm going to try that. I'm going to a couple quick questions here. What's one habit you have that has been the foundation for your success?
Yeah, stay focused and determined. Even, sometimes people are like, oh, well, I'll study when I'm motivated. It's like, you're not gonna study then. Like, you'll find the motivation once you start doing it. And find, a support group or community to help you. When I was becoming a CFI, I'd done all my training at this school. They have seen me here for the last year. And, I wasn't afraid to ask anyone that was around can you go fly it with me? Can you come critique this maneuver I'm doing? Can you give me feedback? Can I ask questions? And then I found a CFI candidate course where we all just met one day a week. And I know you were doing that with CFIs and double Is and doing some groundwork. And, there's people out there, whether it's your initial training or your CFI training, that they're going through it too. And so I think it was one of my biggest motivators and help, was finding other people that I could study with or fly with, or honestly just be in my corner. So if you come in and you really don't know what you're doing, if you don't have a family of aviators to kind of set that path up for you, join an organization. There's so many around nationally. There's local chapters of whatever kind of group you're looking for, and ask questions, get a mentor. It's never too early to get a mentor. And you don't have to find out the hard way of trial and error if this is going to work for you. Someone has done it before you. Ask them for help.
That's a question. Well, what did the other two guys? What's the trait that makes you successful in what you're doing?
It requires a lot of tenacity. Getting into aviation.
Tenacity, it's a good word.
It is not. It's not for the faint of heart. It does not come quickly. There's no shortcut. There's no fast path. It's an endurance race. You're getting up every single morning, plugging away for a couple more hours in that logbook, a little bit more experience, getting where you're going. And you've got to remain flexible where you're doing it, because plans will change. Everybody who came in back when I started learning to fly airplanes, that was set on going to the airlines, and the airlines were scooping everybody up with a job offer well before their 1,500 hours. They they got a reality check when the music stopped a couple years later.
Right.
So.
Tenacity. Good one. Good one. What are you thinking, James? What's the foundation for you?
Yeah,
The
so
trait.
foundation is just realizing what you're able to do. You know, now at the airlines, you're getting paid to fly jets, and I always tell myself, you know, I was working at Jersey Mike's, saving up money for, you know, flight lessons and
That's right.
stuff.
That's it.
So it's like I could be still there making sandwiches, and but now you're getting paid to fly airplanes, and just going back to why you got into it in the first place, like what kind of got you that bug, and it's just the opportunity in this industry is just, there's so much you could do, whether that's flying or on the management side. It's pretty much just endless. So, but just you know, waking up every day, being able to go fly a plane, and now for me, flying passengers from point A to point B feels good. Connecting people around the world, getting them where they need to go. And when I was a flight instructor, it was very rewarding teaching people how to fly, seeing them get their licenses and ratings and all that. So it just kind of comes back in full circle, makes you feel good about yourself, that you know you're doing something good for other people out there.
What a great recap. Man, you hit it. Talking about starting at Jersey Mike's, having that commitment, not giving up, pushing forward. This is the success you've encountered with that effort, all of you, is real. And I loved what you said there about, because it's really one of the things that I hope we promote. You don't always have to be in the cockpit to be part of aviation. Shalyn, you were talking about the being involved with the aviation community. I mean, the network you're in. I keep telling people this every time I get a chance, that it's different. It's different. It's probably different from, you know, your background in law enforcement. It's different than graphic design. It's different than Jersey Mike's, you know? I mean, it's just a different mindset, and people trying to help people. And I think what we're doing here today, I hope it helps people think about taking that next step, getting that plan, using that tenacity, because that's really what makes it all happen. I've just really enjoyed spending time with 3 new friends, and I hope in my travels out here we get to bump into each other. I hope that maybe I'm going to get to fly in your plane, or one of your planes, or you're going to have this big plane you want to take me somewhere. I'll do that too, but thanks so much for being open, sharing your vision forward, what you've overcome, the ability to take whatever you got and make it into something, specifically around aviation. So thanks so much. I'm going to look forward to sharing this with everybody, and hope that they will take away the same kind of energy that I feel in this room today with you 3 young aviators looking forward, setting a path. Great mentors. Look forward to hearing about your success, and I know we're going to run into each other in another place here, or maybe at this place. So thanks again. Now to the Old Fly Guy Network. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as I have, and talking to the future of aviation, how they got here, their passion, how they're going to be paying it forward, how this is going to help aviation be safer and more fun for all of us. So as always, the Old Fly Guy Network, we hope that you'll take the time to subscribe, like what we're doing, so we can do more of it. And like we always say, watch out for that turbulence, look for those blue skies, and we look forward to talking to you in the next Old Fly Guy conversation.